Today, as part of the Empowerment Power Play training, we're very fortunate to have our very own part-time superstar, and that would be Miss Jennifer Cornell. Did you hear the crowd goes wild? There we go. So, hey Rob, thanks for turning the camera on. Appreciate that. So Jennifer kind of has an interesting story, and if you don't mind going into it a little bit, Jennifer, about how many times you tried to quit.
I think it was 27 times I tried.
27. I think that's a low estimate, but okay.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Wow.
But I just kind of want you to go into what it took for you to really get through there. Hey, Justice, no, you're good. Thanks. Glad you could join us. All right. So her mindset is key and not quitting is key. So I wanted her to talk about that for you guys today. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jennifer.
Okay. So I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. And part of the reason why it took me a while to get into being consistent is I had to break up with being a stay-at-home mom. I told my husband I already had my dream job. I was perfectly fine taking kids to school and going to the gym, getting groceries, doing errands, coming home and making dinner. But when we bought the house we're in now, our mortgage doubled and it became very uncomfortable in our financial situation. And those that don't know me, vacationing is my hobby. And we kept vacationing even though we had doubled our mortgage. So things had gotten a little bit uncomfortable. And I was kind of looking for a way to kind of fluff our budget a little bit and give us some more freedom, even though, we had purchased our dream home. So that first year was really hard. I had told Paige several times that first I did not realize how hard this was going to be. I thought these were people that filled out a form. I'm going to call them, make an appointment. I'm going to go help them. So it was a bit of a challenge when reality hits you in the face on your first dial day and how mean people can be on the phone. Now I just laugh and call them back. So that's fun. But it definitely took some mindset. And I knew in my gut that this is what I was supposed to do, even though it was hard. And I also worked really, really hard for my insurance license. I had never worked for anything that hard in my life. And it felt very wasteful to not use it. So that is literally the only reason I did not quit, is because of how hard I worked to get my license. I am a people person, so that part is not hard for me at all. I am very comfortable with being uncomfortable. I do things all the time. I just need you to tell me what to do and I'll do it. Even if I don't love it, I will do it. And so really listening to what Paige was telling me to do all the time was really key in me being successful. Like, you cannot reinvent the wheel here. You literally just do what everyone else is doing. When I look at my leads, I look at them as people who have filled out a form because they need my help. I do not look at them anymore like people who are not going to know why I'm calling. They're going to hang up on me and I'm never going to talk to them. And I just spent, then it was like $400 or $500 for 25 leads. Now I get way more than that. So things are even different from 3 years ago when I started. So, and then the consistency part, that's where COVID was kind of a blessing for me, because when the whole world shut down, my kids didn't need me. I had zero excuses. I didn't have to run anyone to swim practice anymore. I have 3 very athletic children. There was no soccer practice. There was no swim team. There was not anything going on in the evenings. And I didn't feel, and you all know last year for 2 solid weeks, you're like, and I'm done being home with all these people. I love you, but I'm done being home with you. So it really became, we were essential workers. So it really became key that we are out there helping all of these people because we did not know what was going to happen. We didn't know, what the situation was going to be for any of us. So I started being very consistent, and Paige had challenged me to having no 0 weeks, which meant I didn't have a week where I had this, that, or the other thing interrupt my work schedule. I really had to sit down and be consistent and be intentional. And now it is weird for me not to be sitting here on Mondays and Thursdays. And it's weird for my kids. If they see that I'm like out doing stuff, they're like, what are you doing out here? You're supposed to be in the dining room. So that's pretty much the not quitting part. Really, I do a lot of mindset work because what we do is simple, but it's not easy. So I do a lot of mindset, because this thing here will kill your business. It will murder it and leave it for dead as a homicide. You have to be positive, even when the whole world is telling you not to be. I cannot tell you how many of my close friends, I cried a lot. I cried a whole lot. And they all were like, why are you doing this to yourself? But I was not a quitter. I'm not built that way. I don't quit. I will quit if it's affecting my life in a negative manner. But I knew that this is what God wanted me to do. And even when I need help being reminded, he shows up every single time. My business is solely run on faith. My husband and I have a really strong faith. We're passing that on to our kids, and it's in both of our businesses. My husband has a very successful landscape company, but he's a one-man show. He doesn't work. We don't get paid. And same thing for mine. But we have prayers are part of our every morning routine. We do a lot of affirmations. So I have different affirmations, like some of mine are, I receive money in unexpected ways. I love money and money loves me. I have a fully funded retirement, because being self-employed, you have to fully fund your own retirement. So those are some of my affirmations that I say. And on run days, I have a different set of affirmations. So dial days, one of them is I'm going to book appointments with people who are happy and understand why I'm calling. I'm booking appointments with people who are going to let me help them with life insurance. And on my run days, I say affirmations like, I'm going to get to every appointment's house. I'm going to help every appointment with protect their family with life insurance. They all know I am coming, and I will laugh and be appreciated in every appointment. Words of affirmation is my love language. And I say those very intently, because if I don't feel like I'm being appreciated, then I won't do this anymore. And I've been very intentional with my prayers, and I have been very intentional with asking to laugh in all of the appointments of people I help, and that they say thank you. And that has happened in every single appointment. They have all understood why I'm there. They understand that I'm there to help them. There is no more guessing game. This isn't I don't get very many I'm going to think about it anymore. And if I do, I know how to combat that. Like for instance, on Friday, I had people that tried to treat me like a quote person. And I simply just asked to use their bathroom. I knew they needed just a couple minutes to talk. I came back and they each had picked a policy, and we did applications. I laughed at that appointment. All three of us laughed multiple times, and they said thank you and shook my hand when I left. So I'm very intentional with my thoughts and with my words. And your words are very important. You cannot say negative things to yourself. As soon as you say that stuff to yourself, it gets in every cell in your body, and your brain starts to think that. And if you let it work you like that, then you're not going to be here very long.
So true. So true. So we were kind of joking in the beginning about Jennifer trying to quit, but bless her, she really did struggle in the beginning. And she was very emotional in the beginning, and lots of friends and family members were concerned about her and were encouraging her to quit. But I think we had a connection, unexpected. I mean, I truly feel like God literally brought her into our business on purpose. And I think she felt that even though she was fighting it. But once she tuned out all the negativity. And I think also the challenge of no 0 weeks. Who on here would be instantly a better producer if you had no 0 weeks where you didn't issue pay at least one policy? Brandon's raising his hand. Thank you, Craig, Megan. Yep, everybody, right? No 0 weeks is, I mean, it's not, I'm not asking her to write 20 policies a week. I just said, hey, commit to the team that you'll have 0 weeks. And the nice thing is, with all her travels and all their, whether it's a long weekend or a week away, you know, her entire family, they love to vacation, they camp. They're on the go all the time. I really can't keep up with her. But now she is like, okay, I'm going to be gone these days, so I'm going to work these days, even though it might not be her normal day. So it's all in terms of her mindset that even though she's going on vacation, she's still not going to have a 0 week. And I think since I challenged you, you maybe have only had one.
And that was a couple of years. I mean, that was 2 years ago. You gave me that challenge.
And you've just had one, and it was a calamity of things that happened that ended up that the day she thought you were going to run, you couldn't. It wasn't that you didn't plan accordingly.
I had tried. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So this business, it really isn't easy. It does beat away at you. You know, and the funny thing is, I can, like, last dial day, I didn't even know what day it was. Thank you. Richard told me it was Monday. I thought it was Thursday. It's a dial day. I just don't know which dial day. But Thursday, you know, I dialed, and I swear about every other person who picked the phone, I booked. And it was wonderful. It was just an easy peasy dial day. Today, I'm scratching and clawing for them. You know, I don't think we ever arrive when it comes to this part of the business. You know, every dial day is going to be different, and you can't let them beat you up. And if you're not doing something to help your mindset, then you're already up the creek without a paddle, and you're just at the current sake. You know, I want to mention that we actually have, myself and Jennifer and Megan and a few other ladies have an accountability group on Marco Polo. And we are, we decide what we want to be accountable for. So, like, if you're trying to work out every day and you want to be accountable for that,
this is not your group.
We're not your group.
We're not your group for that.
None of us are accountable for working out, but we are accountable for our mindset routine. And there are lots of accountability groups. So if anybody is interested in being one, all you got to do is let me know, and we'll match you up with a good group that's kind of more where you are. We, our group, you know, we all have our morning routine, different pieces within it. Thankfully, we've come together. Everybody in there is Christian, and so there's that part of it too. So it's just been really rewarding, and it helps keep us on track. You know, we've been calling each other out like, hey, so and so, where are you? We haven't, you know, you're not on here. And the thing of it is, what we're doing in the morning for our morning routine, gratitude journals, affirmations, devotional reading, any of those things, it's all to help this. She was not exaggerating when she said this can kill your business. You know, this business is seriously like a roller coaster, and you have to intentionally stay in the middle, because it's going to keep doing this. But if you can keep your mindset in the middle, you've already won. So between mindset and not quitting, that's how you get success. It's attitude and activity, just like the t-shirt says. I'm sorry Freddie left. He was wearing that t-shirt. He could have been the spokesperson for this today. But it truly is attitude and activity. And, you know, Jennifer, where would you say you and your family are now that you've done this and gotten consistent? Oops. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. What kind of difference would you say this has made in your family's life?
I am paying for college, and we don't have to take a loan out. My 18-year-old graduates high school in less than 2 months, and I've already started paying for her college tuition. And my parents and my husband's parents, they had to take a loan out. We're not taking a loan out. It just comes right out of my banking every month. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts a little, but knowing that I don't have to pay that money back, and she got to go where she wanted to go to college. It was not based on money. Did I like the price tag? No, but I am blessed to be able to do that for my daughter. And our lifestyle has not changed at all, even having that come out of my bank account every month. I still, we just got back. We went to Panama City Beach, Florida for spring break, and we did stuff that we never said yes to before. And we say yes a lot more. There's a whole gamut of things that go with it, but we say yes to a lot more stuff. Yes, sometimes it is stuff or it's experiences. And I just sat on the couch this afternoon and told my husband, because I was looking at our time hop, and last year Tanner got to go golfing at a Walt Disney World golf course. That's not something we would have done before. And that was last year. And it kind of hit me. I thought, our kids have had an incredible childhood. They do things that, my husband and I didn't get to do, just never even dreamed of asking. And I'm glad that they can ask. And sometimes it's a no, but if it's reasonable and it's something that I feel like would help them either in the future or something that they can reflect on and be a great memory, and we say yes. And we don't have to think about it. It's not a huge life-changing conversation that we have to weigh whether, Megan gets to go to college or if we get to go on a family vacation. We get to do both.
Yep, that's pretty major. So John is asking a great question. And what type of leads do you dial?
So I have been, they've been all instant internet or new internet leads lately. My mortgage leads have been trickling in painfully. I mean, I used to get 10 a week, and now I'm getting 1. And this is a county that I've been running since I started here. Leads have never been an issue. So I've had to supplement pretty heavily with instant internet leads. But instant internet leads, I feel like, get a bad rap. But on one of them, I wrote 7,900 in one house. And it was a husband and wife.
On one lead.
On one lead. Yep.
And so let's take this right back to mindset. That's because she doesn't look at the stack of internet leads thinking nobody's going to pick up, nobody's going to book an appointment, they're all going to cuss me out. She doesn't look at them like that. She looks at them and she thinks these are people who need my help. They're waiting on me to call. They're going to answer the phone. They're going to be happy I called. They're going to know why I called, and they're going to book an appointment. And then when she gets there, they're going to let her help her with life insurance. She thinks all of that when she looks at the stack of leads. You literally attract what you think. So if you're thinking nobody's going to answer, right? If you're thinking they're all going to cuss you out, you're going to have a fun day dialing because you're going to hear some colorful language. But if you're thinking,
I'm not saying my days are easy and my dialing is easy. If it's not going great, like this morning, I shut the Zoom camera off, and I just sat here with my eyes shut, and I said, Lord, I literally need you to hold my hand and fill up my day, because I am not doing this all day today. I have stuff to do and I need my day full. And about 5 minutes after that, I had 8 appointments booked, and it took 30 minutes. That doesn't happen all the time, but I have never felt more at peace and like I am walking hand in hand with God as I have for the past month. And I've been very intentional. I was usually getting stuck only doing my morning routine on run days or dial days. And now I am finding that my days are so much more pleasant and fulfilling when I do that morning routine every single day.
Yep, totally agree. Does anybody have any questions for Jennifer? Jennifer she runs 2 days a week. Let me throw that out there. I mentioned she's part-time. You dial Mondays for Tuesday and Thursdays for Friday, right? That's your normal week. And generally you're anywhere between 10 to 20K a month. Is that safe to say? So she does in part-time what some people are trying to do just full-time. So
Where does she run?
Anywhere there's leads. Richard asked where you run. I said anywhere there's leads. She does Johnston, Wake, Pitt.
Okay.
Yeah. Richard is new and he lives probably right around the corner from Jennifer. So he's very curious, but yes. So any other questions for Jennifer?
I have actually 2 questions, Jennifer. I found you, excuse me, and Paige, when you were talking about TikTok, your daughter, I think it was you or when your kid, it was impressive. Unfortunately, I don't recall all of it. So that was one question, if you could cover that a little bit, because the other question is, do you do any telesales? Like if something happens in your life and you have planned to be out, but you may find out you may have to be in for a while. Do you do anything like that? Or are you totally out? And I know Paige and you and I have talked about it. Just those 2 questions. Your TikTok story was awesome. And your telesales. I was impressed.
So your question about the TikTok, I'm not sure what you're
basically, how did that work for you? Because I know you said it really just I can remember Paige commenting how it just boomed, like kind of like you didn't expect it. And I even asked, yeah, it was exhausting. My grandkids mentioned TikTok and I'm like, I'm not big on social network.
Yeah, I just, Paige had done a quick TikTok with Mike Pearson. It'll almost be a year ago, May 21st. And I had never even been on TikTok, but I thought, oh, what they did was fun. Let's try to do it, Megan. And so we did it. And yeah, it was like 2.5 million views. Viral. My email blew up and blew up my life and all kinds of good stuff. So we have some great people. It's still very much a learning curve, getting people to move and to do, not try to reinvent the wheel or to do what we're telling them to do. But we have had some great people. Several came to conference this year, which was exciting. So it's still very much a work in progress. I never came in here intending to build a business. And I'm grateful. I know it will be something at some point. I'm just kind of figuring it all out.
Yes.
Oh, and then what was the other question?
I just wondered if you and Paige have done any telesales for like if you need
that's right.
a certain time.
So I have dabbled a little bit in telesales. I think it's a mindset thing, and I'm trying to figure out how to not be the quote girl on there. So that's kind of where I'm at with telesales. I'm 100% in the field. That's what I've always known. That's what we've done. So I'm in awe of these people that are just at home helping people over the phone. I have not quite figured that out yet, but at some point when I'm supposed to do that, that will come into play.
Yeah, and I'll share, Sherry, I had 3 phone appointments yesterday. The first was a no-show, and there's nothing you can do about that. If you're going to their house and you knock on the door and they forgot you, but they're home, you more than likely are still getting in. Well, they forgot me and just didn't join the phone call. And then I had 2 no sales. One of them was strictly because the poor man is 34 years old, pancreatic cancer, and he doesn't want accidental death. And that was literally all he could get. And he already knew that, but he was hoping beyond hope that I might have something. Unfortunately, I couldn't help him. But the other one, I had called her to book an appointment. She told me no. She called me back and said she changed her mind. And thank you for that, John. And John's just put a video in the chat if you guys haven't opened it for I'm assuming that's about telesales or some type of virtual. Thank you, John. But yeah, when I got her on the phone, I just couldn't build a strong enough why with her to justify the cost because she wasn't young. And that's something in a home you can connect more, and I can usually draw it out of them better. And I think if I'd met with her face to face instead of on the phone, that might have been a sale. So it's definitely a work in progress. We've got lots of people on our team are having success with it. Zach Luffles is having some, Josh Rose is having some, and matter of fact, Zach had John Stevenson on his call, and he's doing all on the phone from home. Then, of course, we've got the Vivian Bell and Ginger. I can't remember her last name, but if you are interested in that, Sherry, go to the virtual sales site. We have the link on our website, and it now does have a password, and that password is all lowercase success. So you can get in there. There's lots of training in there. And John, you have my sympathies that Zach is your upline. We'll let you stay in here anyway. I'm just kidding. We all love Zach. Totally kidding. We love Zach. I think he's Jennifer's favorite trainer of all time. So
Yep.
all good. Glad to have you on here. But yeah, a lot of people are having some success with that. So we will definitely have some training on that. I'm starting to dabble in it, but I'm definitely just dabbling because honestly, I have a hard time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And me going to meet with them face to face, it's taken just like Jennifer. We weren't good at it like that. It took a while, but we didn't quit. So now it's pretty darn good. So I'm having a hard time switching.
I agree with you because I've been in sales and I was in home improvement and solar. And I love the eye-to-eye contact because I'm a communications major and I like the nonverbals that you do not hear or you can't see it on always telesales, depending on the situation, even if you see them like we're seeing here. It's just the fact that I would prefer the face-to-face, but if something comes up that tweaks your life where that might be a time where you have to, it's daunting. And that's the one thing I didn't like because I have had to do sales on the phone. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So to do the mindset like Jennifer is saying, that's imperative. That's like, and because I agree with you as a Christian and doing your due diligence with first fruits and going to your prayer room or wherever you go in your kitchen or whatever, that's important. But then when you are doing something as totally outside the norm where you would rather be out there with the people rather than trying to like do another COVID in your own home. It's just you have to answer to you where you do outside too, but it's a different animal out there because this is what you're doing. So that's why I asked. It's just,
Well, and let me just share a little perspective before we wrap this up. The year COVID hit, 2020, when most of the world shut down, at least in the state of North Carolina, insurance was on the list of we could keep working, right? So I put my insurance license in my car along with the list that the state issued about what was allowed, just in case I got pulled by a police officer for being out. I'm like, I've got these, and I met almost every single person face to face that entire year. And I have 3 foldable lawn chairs in my trunk. They're still there. I sat outside a whole lot. I took a little container with Lysol, hand sanitizer, and Clorox wipes. And if I needed to pass them the computer, I wiped it first. I wiped the pen for them to sign, and took it back. Sprayed the chairs with Lysol before I put them back in the car. The year COVID hit, Sherry, was my biggest issue paid year. I wrote 411,000. And it was 98% face-to-face. Even in times like that. If you don't make it a big deal, neither do they. And if you offer them, like many people were like, if you don't mind if we sit on my deck, I'm like, perfect. You know, they're like, oh, I don't have anything outside. I have chairs in my car. We can sit outside. I just made it easy for them, you know. And a lot of people, I literally met them at their door, like a storm door. I showed them my license. I flipped it over. I showed them the credibility sheet. They showed me their driver's license. I went and got back in my car and we did it over the phone. If I needed a signature, I was right there. I'm in their driveway. Matter of fact, I'm doing one of those tomorrow. The guy just insisted. I said, that's fine. I don't mind doing it on the phone, but I'm going to be in your driveway because I'm in your town. So yeah, I mean, honestly, you can make anything work. And
you gotta do.
Absolutely. And we figured it out. It was a little scary at first when COVID hit and we had to figure out how to overcome those objections. You know, there were a lot of people that were like, I'm not coming in your house. And I think Zach Luffles was the very first one to go, I ain't coming in your house. You must be confused. We're going to sit outside. I mean, he was just like, So, you know, lots of different things, lots of different ways to kind of work around things. Even because there are some people who still don't want you in their house. I still have a mask in my bag. I live in North Carolina where we're not, most places you don't need it 24/7, thank goodness, but I've got it in there because if they open the door and they've got a mask on, I got to fish that thing out and go in their house with a mask on. I don't like it, but I do it. So, yep. But we're going to all get better at the phone stuff. It's just, we're going to have to, because sometimes you just can't meet any other way. But do check out that virtual sales site for that. Very much so. And Sherry, if you're wanting to build a business and you've got, I know we met your daughter on here the other week, but if you've got anybody who is social media savvy, like Jennifer's producer is her daughter, her 18-year-old, last year, 17-year-old daughter. She was kind of the brains behind it. But Jennifer was the face that everybody fell in love with. So true. So true.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, come on. People are trying to give her free stuff.
I do get free stuff.
Yeah, you did. I know. John, let me get that for you just a second. I'm going to put the virtual sales site in the link in the chat for anybody who wants to go check that out. And yes, the password is correct. Here it is. Oh, it's pretty easy. fflvirtualsales.com. But there it is, just in case you want it. I never remember it. It's so simple, but I never remember it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us today. Who on here is dialing today for appointments? All right, Jennifer, how many of you got booked?
8.
All right, I'm at 6. How many you got, Richard?
3.
Brandon?
3.
All right, anybody else dialing today? All right, Craig, we know John's got 2. Craig, we need you dialing.
He's dialing later.
Back in our
He
life.
said.
I will be. I'm actually was gonna hop on, do some live transfers this afternoon.
Awesome. Well, let us know how that goes. You may be the one training us on that if you get good at that. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, and listen, seriously, if you want to be connected to any of those people who are having some success with it, let me know. I'll be happy to connect you. Okay.
Will do.
You know, Luffles will talk to anybody, and so will Josh. And then we got John Stevenson too. Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Make it a great day. Sherry, when are you dialing?
How long has it been?
I was planning on doing that today. I'm getting ready for a big court hearing for the divorce.
Oh,
So
okay.
they
Gotcha.
have everything, and I represent myself. So
Okay.
I have an appointment and it interrupts my life. I wish I didn't have it interrupt, but I planned
Gotcha.
on it today and she said I need to come in.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, let me know when you are, and we'll be sure to have you on Zoom with us. Okay.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, everybody, make it a good
Bye,
one.
Jennifer. Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Jennifer.
welcome.
Bye.